How often does Congress work? Well, you know what the answer is going to be. Not very often. A new look at it from the Washington Post. Since 2011, the 4 years that have been covered in that time period, the House was in session. What percentage of weekdays? 61.3%. Wouldn't that be great if you just decided to take off 39% of your work days? Okay. How about the Senate? Well, the Senate, I mean, look, that's a more august tradition. There's only 100 senators there. They're very, very important, right? So they're obviously in session a lot longer. 60.1% of weekdays. In other words, less than even the House. Well, how about Fridays? Well, if you thought the rest of the days were bad, they are in session only 35% of the time on Fridays. In other words, it's Friday and they ain't got shit to do. Okay. They're like, oh, going to work, you crazy dog? We're not doing that. Now, I know that, of course, they're out also oftentimes on the campaign trail, going back home into their districts and doing some town hall events. But mainly, the thing that they're doing is raising money. And in fact, according to other reports, we've seen that they spend on average about 50% of their time. Now, that's when they're in Washington, right? So even when they're at work, 50% of the time, they're spending raising money, which are, of course, legalized bribes to make sure that whoever the donor is gets exactly what they want. Isn't that amazing? They're supposed to be our representatives. Number one, they're actually representing the guys. They're spending 50% of the time, instead of figuring out what you want, figuring out what their donors want so they can get back into office. And then the rest of the time, they're not even there anyway. 40% of the time, gone. Gee, I wonder why Congress has a 7% approval rating.